Welcome to Sportpen.
Great to be here.
Today we're taking a deep dive into, well, a truly iconic moment in sports history, the 1970 FIFA World Cup.
Ah, yes, and specifically that legendary Brazilian team and their victory.
Exactly. It's a team and, a whole tournament that many agree didn't just win games, but really changed how people saw football. It sort of defined greatness on the pitch.
It absolutely did. A benchmark, really.
And this dive, it's built specifically on the sources you brought to us. So our mission, if you like, is to unpack what made this particular team and this tournament so incredibly special.
Looking at the key moments, the determination.
Yeah, the game-changing performances. We want to pull out the core insights these sources offer about that whole era and maybe what it tells us about greatness in sports more broadly. How these iconic teams kind of rewrite the story.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's jump right in.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. Mexico, 1970. This wasn't just another World Cup. It was a global event in a way previous ones hadn't quite been.
Oh,
Well, mainly because it was a first World Cup televised live and in color, worldwide.
wow, okay. That must have been revolutionary at the time, bringing that kind of vibrant spectacle live into people's homes.
Totally. Some sources even compare its impact, culturally to something like the moon landing, a shared global moment.
That's a big comparison. And it also gave us something really iconic, didn't it? The ball.
Ah, yes. The Adidas Telstar. That classic black and white panel design, the 12 black pentagons, 20 white hexagons.
The design everyone thinks of when they picture an old school football.
Exactly. And it wasn't just for looks. Apparently, it was specifically designed like that for better visibility on black and white TVs, which, were still pretty common back then.
Right, makes sense. And the name Telstar.
Inspired by the Telstar communication satellite. Apparently, it had a similar spherical paneled look. And Adidas has actually supplied every World Cup ball since then. So that legacy started right there.
Interesting detail. But Mexico, the playing conditions weren't easy, were they?
No, definitely not. You had the high altitude, the heat, real challenges for the players.
And Brazil took that seriously.
Very seriously. The sources really highlight this. Their decision to arrive weeks early, to properly acclimatize. That wasn't just a casual thing. It was a calculated, disciplined move. Part of a much bigger preparation effort we can get into.
Okay, so preparation was key. But you can't talk about Brazilian football without touching on the culture, right? It runs deep.
Oh, incredibly deep. It's more than just a sport there. It's often described as an immaterial patrimony, completely woven into the national identity.
How did that evolve? Was it always like that?
Not quite. It actually started back in the late 19th century as a sport for the elite, mostly white Brazilians.
Really?
Yeah, but then it shifted. Pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah.
By the 1920s, it was becoming the sport of the masses. And professionalization in 1933 was huge. It opened the door for black players, totally changing the social side of the game.
And the style of play we associate with Brazil? That flair.
That's linked to cultural ideas like Jenga, the swing readiness, talent. Some sources even connected to dance, to capoeira. It's about this fluidity, improvisation, reacting instinctively, not just rigid tactics.
Which explains why the results mean so much.
Absolutely. Huge national pride, strong emotions tied to the team's performance. For many people growing up, football is just everywhere. It's leisure, it's hope, it's a shared language. The connection is intense.
And politically, what was the situation?
Right. That's crucial context, too. Brazil was under a pretty hard-line military dictatorship then. President Medici, in particular. The government definitely saw the team's potential success as, well, a useful propaganda tool.
So they were involved.
Oh, yeah. Sources mention significant influence, funding stadiums, trying to weigh in on team selection sometimes. It was definitely part of the backdrop.
So this legendary team didn't just appear out of thin air. There was a buildup.
Exactly. And part of that buildup was actually disappointment. The 1966 World Cup in England.
Ah, where they went out early as defending champions.
Yeah, crashed out in the group stage. Pelé himself apparently called it a total shameful failure.
Coach, what went wrong?
Well, the critiques mention things like being physically overpowered, but also issues with regional politics influencing squad selection.
Yeah.
It wasn't a unified setup. That failure really created a demand for change.
And the coaching situation for 1970 was unusual.
Fascinatingly chaotic, you could say. The head of the FA, João Havelange, made this incredibly bold move. He appointed João Saldanha,
Who was?
a well-known journalist and an outspoken communist.
Wow. Under a military dictatorship. That's risky.
Hugely defiant. And Saldanha was direct. named his starting 11 straight away, trying to cut through all the usual politics.
Right.
But things got complicated.
How so?
Sources say he became more erratic as the tournament got closer. His relationship with Pelé apparently got strained. And then, just months before the World Cup, he was sacked.
Political pressure.
Very likely, yes. The dictatorship probably had enough.
That's who stepped in.
Mario Zagallo. He was actually the third choice. But he was, a legend himself, a player on the 58 and 62 winning teams.
Right. So he knew what winning looked like.
Exactly. And as a player, he kind of embodied that balance between defense and attack.
Yeah.
Brought that perspective just when they needed it.
And the preparation under this new setup, you mentioned it was intense.
Beyond intense, almost scientific, really.
Well,
It kind of contrasts with that popular image of just, natural Brazilian flair.
So not just talent, but serious planning.
Absolutely. One source uses the phrase, they weren't a carefree gang hauled off the beach. Not at all. We're talking individually fitted boots for every player.
Seriously.
Yeah. Strict diets, sleep schedules synced perfectly to Mexican time zones, even redesigned kits so they wouldn't get heavy with sweat in the heat.
That's meticulous.
And it really was. This combination of science and management, as the sources put it, with that incredible raw talent, that was something pretty new for them.
Okay, so Zagallo takes over this incredibly prepared, talented squad. How did he actually get them playing that beautiful game everyone talks about?
Well, first, he made some key tactical tweaks from what Saldana had planned. Saldana liked a very open 4-2-4 formation.
Which was seen as maybe too risky.
Yeah, too vulnerable, especially in that heat and altitude in Mexico. Leaving big gaps in midfield could be exhausting.
Right. So what did Zagallo change?
One big move was shifting Piazza, who is naturally a midfielder, into central defense.
Why?
Better passing from the back. Piazza had that range. It helped them build attacks more effectively. He also brought in Clodoaldo, who was younger, really dynamic, to partner Gerson in midfield.
Okay, so giving Gerson some help, someone to cover ground, but still skillful.
Exactly that. It eased the defensive load on Gerson, let him focus more on conducting play, but also added energy. But the real magic, the key to that attacking flair, was the freedom Zagallo gave them.
Freedom, how so?
Unlike a lot of European teams back then, were very rigid, very positional, Zagallo basically licensed his players, especially that front four, Pelé, Tostão, Jairzinho, Rivellino, to roam.
So they weren't just stuck in one place on the field?
Not at all. They interchanged, compensated for each other's movements. Tostão might drop deep, pulling defenders. Pelé pushes forward into the space. Jairzinho could attack wide or cut inside. Rivellino drifted wherever he saw an opening. It was fluid.
And your son orchestrated it from midfield.
He used the brain, as the sources call him. Incredible vision, intelligence, those amazing long passes, like that famous one for Pelé's dummy against Uruguay, the goal that never was. Pure genius.
But even the more defensive players had flair. You mentioned Clodoaldo.
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't just a workhorse. Think about his equalizer against Uruguay, driving forward into the box to score. And, of course, his incredible run in the final.
We'll definitely get to that goal.
But first, their journey through the tournament.
Yeah.
It was just dominant, wasn't it?
Yeah, winning every single game, that's rare.
Very. Started strong against Czechoslovakia. 4-1. Then came that huge match against England, the defending champions.
The final before the final, they won that 1-0.
A real clash of styles, that one.
Yeah.
Brazil's flair and technique against England's power and organization. Sources say it was incredibly high quality, fiercely fought.
And Pelé took a battering in that game, apparently.
Yeah, his marker, Alan Mullery, was apparently told to be very physical. Mullery himself admitted hitting him hard. But Pelé's strength, physically and mentally, to just ride it out and keep playing his game. That was crucial.
And that game also gave us maybe the most famous save ever.
Oh, Gordon Banks.
Yeah.
That save from Pelé's header. Unbelievable. Physics-defying, some call it. Tipping it up and over the bar from almost behind him.
Even the Brazilians acknowledged it, right?
Yeah, apparently Brazil's own keeper, Felix, applauded it on the pitch. Just pure respect for the skill involved.
And Pelé had another moment of genius earlier, didn't he? Against Czechoslovakia.
The lob from his own half.
Just missed, didn't it?
Yeah, went just wide.
Yeah.
But what audacity, what confidence and creativity just showed the kind of thing they were capable of, spontaneously.
So after the group stage, they beat Peru.
4-2 in the quarters, which set up a semifinal against Uruguay.
And Uruguay had history with Brazil.
Oh, yes. A demon from the past, as one source puts it, because of 1950.
Americanazo, losing the final at home. Still painful.
Deeply painful.
Yeah.
Pelé apparently remembered crying as a kid, so there was huge pressure, and Uruguay had a plan. shut down Pelé and Gerson, try to
Their
frustrate them.
work initially.
A bit. Brazil struggled at first, actually went behind 1-0.
That's came back.
They did. They grew into the game. Clodoaldo scored that vital equalizer driving forward. That seemed to settle them, and they eventually won 3-1, took them to the final.
The final. Against Italy at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City.
Huge occasion. 100,000 fans packed in. A sweltering cauldron is how it's described. And there's that famous photo from before the match.
The lineup photo.
Yeah. Most players look tense, focused, feeling the pressure. But Pelé, he's looking straight at the camera, just calm, confident. Says a lot about him.
And Brazil really turned it on in the final, 1-4-1.
A decisive victory against a very strong Italian team, famous for their defense, their catenaccio.
But the goal everyone remembers, the fourth one, Carlos Alberto.
Oh, that goal. It's just iconic. Widely seen as one of the greatest team goals ever.
Break it down for us. How did it happen?
It starts way back, deep in their own half. Clodoaldo gets the ball. And remember, he scored that equalizer against Uruguay, and here he is again. He goes on this amazing dribble.
Past how many Italians?
4. Weaving past 4 Italian midfielders. One source hilariously describes them like kung fu henchmen. He just dances through.
Haha. Incredible individual skill.
Which then flows seamlessly into team play. Quick passes. Rivellino involved, then Jairzinho out wide. He cuts it inside to Pelé, just outside the penalty area. And Pelé, he pauses. Just for a heartbeat. Holds the ball, draws the defenders, and then, almost nonchalantly, he just rolls it perfectly into space on the right.
For the captain.
For the captain. Carlos Alberto, who's storming forward from right back, he doesn't even break stride, just meets the ball perfect.
And smashes it into the net.
An absolute thunderbolt.
Mm-hmm.
First time. Unstoppable.
And the symbolism of it.
It's huge. Sources point out that 8 different outfield players touched the ball in that move. It wasn't just one moment of magic. It was the whole team philosophy made real. Individual brilliance, tactical fluidity, collective understanding, all in one perfect sequence.
The beautiful game.
Exactly. That goal, maybe more than anything else, showed the world what Jogo Bonito could look like. The sheer artistry possible in football, even though, you can't use your hands.
And Italy just couldn't cope with the speed and movement.
Pretty much. Analysis suggests maybe they could have done things differently, but the way Brazil moved the ball, the way players popped up in unexpected places, it was just overwhelming in that moment.
So wrapping it up, what really cemented this team's legacy as legendary? Why are they still considered by so many the greatest ever?
Well, beyond the sheer beauty of their play, there's the achievement itself. Winning every single game at the World Cup. That's incredibly hard to do.
And the individual contributions were staggering.
Immense. Jairzinho scoring in every single match, 7 goals total. A unique record.
Pelé winning the Golden Ball for Best Player.
And the FIFA Fair Play trophy, too. Apparently, the team didn't receive a single yellow or red card in the whole tournament, which is remarkable given how physical some games were.
And Pelé's 3rd World Cup win. Still the only player ever to do that.
An untouchable record, really.
Yeah.
And don't forget Zagallo.
Right. Mario Zagallo, first person to win the World Cup as both a player and then as a coach.
An incredible achievement. Only Beckenbauer has matched it since.
And that idea of the beautiful game, it's just synonymous with this team.
It really is. It connects right back to that Brazilian culture we talked about, the flair, the improvisation, the Jenga. They took those cultural elements and turned them into this dominant winning formula on the world's biggest stage.
They also got to keep the trophy, didn't they? The Jules Rimet.
They did. 3rd win meant they kept it permanently, although there's a sad coda to that story.
Oh.
Yeah, sources mention it was stolen a few years later in Brazil and tragically never recovered, believed to have been melted down.
No way. That's terrible.
It is. And it actually led to FIFA commissioning the new trophy we have today. And they keep the original design trophy replica at FIFA headquarters, giving winners a replica now. So, ironically, FIFA kind of kept the everlasting trophy for itself.
Huh. But the team's influence wasn't lost. It lives on.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You can trace lines from their tactical ideas, that fluidity, that technical skill combined with organization, to modern coaches. People like Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. The echoes are there. They showed you could be both beautiful and ruthlessly effective.
It really makes you think about what greatness in sport truly means, doesn't it? Looking at them, their unity, how they adapted, blending that discipline with flair, overcoming politics, altitude, tough opponents.
Is it just about the winning?
Yeah.
Or is it the style, the innovation, the cultural resonance, how you face challenges?
Yeah. Their pursuit of playing beautifully, not just winning, feels like a powerful lesson about reaching peak performance. combining that meticulous prep with creative freedom. They didn't just play the game, they elevated it, redefined it, really.
So as we finish up this deep dive, maybe it leaves us with a thought, does that incredible artistry and success of 1970 Brazil represent a kind of peak, beautiful football that was unique to its time, its culture, maybe something that can't ever be perfectly replicated?
Or can greatness, which is always shaped by prep, tactics, the era, can it show up just as profoundly, but maybe in different ways and different styles down the line?
Yeah, exactly. And what does this team's incredible story tell us about that enduring, powerful link between sport, culture, and national identity? Lots to think about.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to Sportpen.